Hello again, and welcome back to episode 7 of the Gooner Profile. I'm Kyle, normally alongside with Joel, but Joel's stuck in the icy traffic of Detroit, Michigan currently. So I'm running this week solo alongside Niranjan from the Queen City Gooners. So we're happy to have him alongside us. If you've been watching this feature and seen some past episodes, we've had quite a few of the Arsenal America branches represented so far. And of course, this week with Queen City, they're based in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, Niranjan, welcome. Thanks for being here with us this evening. I know you mentioned that your history and your fandom of Arsenal goes back about 14 years. Take us to the beginning of it all. What launched you into being an Arsenal fan, and what kind of got you hooked from the beginning?
All right, thank you, Kyle. So, first things first, this is episode 7. I would love to share my number with Alexis Sanchez, Thomas Wasicki, and Robert Pires, and I'm really proud of it. So, this is my longest relationship, if I can say that's going to be with Arsenal. So, it goes long way back from to 14 years, I would say, probably to the 2003 season. So, that was a passive interest at that point of time. We were just out of the 2002 World Cup, if I'm right. And and then I was sitting with my brother, and he was watching, and he told me just one thing. So Arsenal is class. So and they stand for class, and they are always classy. So that's was the starting point for my interest in Arsenal as such. So I started watching. I believe I was watching the Arsenal versus Tottenham in November around this time, and we won it 3-0, I guess. And Thierry Henry scoring a really solo goal, I guess, in that match. So that fascinated me, and that was a time when I didn't have any connection as such to watch Premier League, and it was kind of difficult to keep track of Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
So that started off over there, and yes, of course, the Invincible season followed, and the FA Cup, a lot of action between Vieira and Nistelrooy. So it was all a fun moment. And yes, post Highbury, still following. And so my real interest started off in 2010, I would call it, in my undergrad when I had a really good mix of people supporting United, Chelsea, and there were a lot of Tottenham supporters as well, but let's not go there. And so yeah, so I started looking into a lot of statistics and a lot of key strategies by Arsene Wenger, like what started off, how did he start off, and how he ended up, which I'm not going to go there, obviously.
Yeah.
So my real actual interest started off in 2010 when I started analyzing each and every single game, what went wrong, what was the talking point, who played, who could have played better,
Mm-hmm.
and who was the star man, who was a key profile in that game, and
Yeah.
that's how I started looking, and
Yeah. Would
that's how here I am.
Yeah, would you say that there was for me and Joel would maybe not admit it so much, but he would say like a Mark Overmars. But for me, Dennis Bergkamp was the player that kind of got me hooked, or was the catalyst that pushed me towards who does he play for? I want to watch him more, and it happened to be Arsenal at the time. Who would you say was the player that you maybe analyzed the most, either early on or now? I mean, I know that can kind of carry a negative connotation because a lot of players, certainly get that, they have to live up to these really high expectations all the time. But would you say it was that Thierry Henry type player back in 2003 when you started? Was he the guy that you like to follow the most?
So in 2003, it was Robert Pires and Dennis Bergkamp,
Mm-hmm.
and slowly it followed out with Cesc Fabregas and Robin van Persie. And I was following a lot of Diaby posts, but unfortunately he was injured most of the time. Yeah, and after that, I used to love Nasri play. Like I always loved Nasri playing, and Robin van Persie is someone who's amazing, and I'm still a huge fan of Robin van Persie. And I'm not sure if I'm going to offend a lot of Arsenal supporters, but Robin van Persie has been one of our greatest players Arsenal has ever created. And right now, I'm totally into Ozil and Alexis Sanchez. So what is like this is a new combination, which is something like Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp, and there's a lot of expectations and hype, but I can pretty sure put it up in statistics and say that it's not the same. It's a new freshness to Arsenal compared to the 2003.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you tend to be, I mean, I know a lot of fans, when they say that they like to analyze things, and I think all of us do in our own way. I mean, some of us have blogs, some of us have podcasts or features on YouTube. Whatever it may be, we talk about different things and analyze the game in different ways. Would you say that you're more so of a offensive, creative analyst? Because a lot of people like to go back to the defensive side and say, our defense struggled this game, or Koss had a bad game, and he's always usually so solid. Would you say you're more of an offensive analyst when it comes to, being a fan and analyzing Arsenal games? Oh, I think we lost your audio there for a second. Let's try again. Well, we lost his audio there for a second. So put those headphones back on, Niranjan, if you don't mind. Maybe that plug those back in. Yeah, so I guess that would be a question for a lot of people to ponder. For how do you analyze games, and we'd love to hear anyone's feedback on that, because sometimes it's not a holistic view of a review. It's one facet of the game, defensively or offensively. Do we have you back there, Niranjan? I still can't hear you. I'm not sure what happened on my side. Let's try this. The joys of let me try to bring you back in here for a second. And the joys of live broadcasting. Am I right? Here, so I'm going to eject you for a minute. Okay, so Niranjan has been ejected. So we're going to try to add him one more time to the show here. Apologies for those watching. Let's try this again. We have the benefit when we do the podcast of editing this sort of thing out. This sort of stuff happens from time to time. We'll see if we get Niranjan back here. And if not, then we can wrap up, and we appreciate everyone watching. And we'll have to, maybe get him on again. But let's see if we can get him back here in a second. So I am going to go ahead and stop the broadcast for now, since we've lost Niranjan. But if we don't get him back, thank you very much. Thank you very much to him and the Queen City Gooners. Thanks to everyone that's watching. Obviously, a little bit hiccup in this episode 7. I know that we had promised to give away one of our new T-shirts, the Petr Cech or the Boom Jakalaka shirt, which you can check out in the link below if you want a T-shirt. I think the campaigns are running through the 28th of this month. So if you did want a T-shirt, I think so. Congrats to @RMGooner, one of the few people that actually retweeted the post there on Twitter in order to get in the hat for the free T-shirt. So we'll get that out to you and be getting in touch with you there. If you want to learn anything else about the podcast and what we do here at Arsenal Review USA, again, all the links are down below here. So thanks to Niranjan. Sorry that didn't go as long as we had hoped with you here as a guest, but appreciate everyone supporting our show and giving us your feedback with what we're trying to do here. So take care. We'll see you next week with episode 8 of the Gooner Profile.